sucks. Camera issues. What's up, guys? Terrible Treks, how's it going? So here's the story. Finally set up the studio, ready to film a tutorial. I got started, everything was good, and camera battery died. So let's kill some time. I'm gonna show you guys my new little studio setup and get ready for a new tutorial pretty soon. I'm filming today, probably gonna edit at some point, so we'll see. I've been pretty busy, but we're gonna start making some videos again. So thanks for jumping in the chat, everybody. Yeah, let's do this. Can I spin this camera around? All right, what's up, Morgan? So guys, this is the new setup. This is where we're gonna film some tutorials. As you can see, it is really, really sophisticated setup. Hey Jared, it has been a very long time. So if you're ever curious, this is how I film. What kind of card do I need to slide the paint around? I use like a little handbill, something like this. So if you go somewhere busy, someone's always handing out some kind of little card. And that's the easiest thing, but you could just use spray paint, not spray paint, poster board. I buy my paint at Home Depot for the most part. Here's a selection. All this stuff is Home Depot stuff. This is just a bit of other paint I have. This is Montana Gold you get at an art store. So guys, I just wanted to pop in and say hi, give you a quick peek at my little setup. So I'm gonna kill a bit of time while my batteries charge up. If you guys do have any spray paint art related questions, yeah, drop them in here and I'll answer as many as I can. Paint from Walmart, yes, definitely the cheapest, definitely a good call there. Have a good one, Morgan. This is not the most invigorating thing, these live videos. Actually, I guess while I'm here, I'm gonna try to do, maybe. Let's see here. All right, guys, we're gonna do like the quickest little painting ever. What's up, Alex? I've not done any like first responder type stuff. I did some paintings that were technically donated. Oops. Technically donated to some first responders to help support them, but no, never painted anything related to that. All right, guys. Well, I gotta find a screwdriver here. Oh, yeah. Sure, Tom. Here we go. I'm trying to get this camera set up, and it's not working, so give me a minute here. Man, this is really frustrating. Okay, I'm gonna try to paint something for you, but I gotta figure out a way to set my phone up on this thing. All right, bear with me, guys. Technical difficulties. This has got to work. All right, so you want a long star with some stuff in the middle, okay? Here you go. I think this is what you're talking about. So we're just gonna lay down some black. We're gonna let this dry for a second. And I think what you're talking about is like a little sunburst. So for me, I would use Quick Color. It's by Rust-Oleum, get it at Home Depot, okay? This is good for misty stuff. It's not like a fire hose spray. It's got a smaller little tip. So to do what you're saying, you need something like this. This is a drywall tool at Home Depot as well. And I'm gonna use this. A lot of my stuff has too much paint buildup, so that might make a bad effect. Worst case, you could use something as small as this, but you do want it to be somewhat like rigid. If it's bent, it's gonna look bad. So here we go. Hold it like this, and you're gonna spray on the edge here. You're not aiming for the paper, you want the overspray from the paper to make a nice little line. You're not gonna, you should fully lay it down, but it should be dry, so it's probably not dry, but let's get through this. That's one. Always wipe it off, because you don't want white paint dripping back on the page. Oh, let's see. So you can see it. You'd want to do a lighter spray than this, don't get me wrong, but you get the general idea. And you spray in the middle. So very rudimentary example of what you're talking about, and it would obviously look better in a painting. If you want some more smaller ones, the key would be just quick hand movement and letting the paint dry is key. So. All right, guys, what else? What should we talk about here? What else can we show you really quickly? What do you guys want to see? Something quick and easy. Biggest problems I had is doing water, just can't get it right. Sure. We'll just do black and white again. Hold on a sec here. Open up my airflow. So there's a couple different things you can do with water. We're just going to use this part here. Get some blue going. So we're just doing kind of streaks, some little highlights. And we're gonna come in with white We'll make a reflection line, if you will, maybe a little bit across there. There's a couple of different techniques, one of which is using your hand. So for that, the key is to do it while it's wet. You just streak your hand across in one fluid motion. You really don't want to overwork the paint. When you overwork it, that's when problems happen. As you guys will see, if that quick dry doesn't dry properly up here, it just looks kind of crappy. It kind of can have a cool effect if you do it intentionally, but all right. Another problem, water is one of those things you want a decent amount of paint, not too much, but you might need some clear coat. So before I do it, I always give it a good little spray. I'm gonna hold it down with one hand, or you can tape your poster board down ahead of time. We're just gonna streak evenly across. You want to keep a straight line, which I'm not doing a very good job of. So that's one example. Obviously, the little ripples create some textures. Some of the problems people are going to have is when they really start to really overwork it. It still looks pretty good here. But it really just starts to muddy the paint. So that's one thing people have issue with. We're gonna add a bit more white. And then some more clear coat. And this is gonna be the other technique I would suggest, which is just a scrap piece of poster board, keeping it as straight as possible and just ridging in these lines. That's a kind of a shoddy result. I'm kind of hugging my tripod right now to get in there, so I'm gonna go around and just touch it up a little bit. If you wanna work it in a little bit more detail, you can use the shorter edge, not getting any contact on this part here. Oh, my arm's probably right in the way. And just work the paint down and across. That could be another kind of cool effect that you can do with water. So hopefully that's kind of helpful. If you're doing them on canvas, that could be an issue. When you use canvas, you need to build a base layer of paint to fill in the texture of the canvas. So you probably need to use at least 30% more paint than you're using, lots of clear coat, but canvas is definitely a thing that is gonna affect your texturing across the board. All right, guys, is there anything else you want to see live here? I don't have too much time. I'm gonna try to film this tutorial shortly, but if you guys have anything else you want to see really quick, let me know. Problems with waterfalls. I have problems with waterfalls too. So what can we do? What can we do about it? Try to figure it out. Alrighty, so to do a little waterfall action, we would probably need some rocks. So that's step one. Let's put down a little bit of texture. Now with that, we should probably put some color as well. So let's do this. Just a little bit of the blue, tiny bit, in a couple spots. If you're doing little work like this, you want to be nice and close. Otherwise, you're going to get overspray all over the place. But you got to move really quick and confidently, which can be a challenge. So. One thing I like to do that's going to create some depth is do like a bit of mist over the water here. There's a bit of like dots. I know we're not doing a mountain tutorial. If I do it now, if I do too much of anything to this right now, it is really going to shine through. Anytime you got blue on black or white or blue on any of that stuff, it's really, blue likes to bleed through. So let's take care of this really quick. We're just going to go into the plastic bag and go up to the edges of this little rock structure, just try to get some kind of texturing going on. I think it's looking pretty good. Yeah, that looks pretty decent. Let's give it some highlights. Oh yeah. I guess this is our light source. We're kind of making a little painting. So my waterfall video is a bit controversial in and of itself. I don't think a lot of people like my waterfalls. I'm not a huge fan either, but we want to basically keep it in the right perspective of these rocks here. I think one of the easiest things to do will be to kind of come off this edge. So we're just going to put a bit of paint on the end on the glossy side. Tap it down, and we're gonna just kind of swoop and drag down in one little motion. So we're gonna see if it works. In theory, it's pretty simple, but it's pretty hard to master. Before I do that, I'm going to do just a little shot of mist across the ground. It might help give it some depth. So that'll give us a little bit of kind of water splashing, and we'll take clear coat, or sorry, Rust-Oleum gloss. We're gonna lay a little bit down. Basically, you just kind of roll it until you get a little bead of paint at the bottom, and that's gonna be what you use. There's enough, and it's just really one motion. It's been a long time, so let's see. Just tap it down, get that little buildup, and then just streak it. So that's not perfect, but here's the thing I always do. I always overwork it, so I'll come back in and I start to make the paint all muddy. So you're working this one little bit. You know what? I can live with that. It kind of looks like it's rolling down the rocks. It's not perfect, but that's a-okay. We'll do a little splash of water at the bottom. And hey, that's close enough. I hope you get the concept. Lesson there is practice makes perfect. Guys, thank you so much for jumping in the live video here. to get started on filming this proper tutorial. So when it comes out, make sure you guys check it out. Subscribe to the channel if you're not, like this live video, like the tutorial when it comes. Much appreciated. And do me one favor, go watch a video on the channel that you haven't seen before. There's a ton of videos with hardly any views. There's a lot of good time lapses and little tips and tricks mixed in there. So check that out. You might be pleasantly surprised. Thanks again, guys. It's good to be back, and I'll see you in a tutorial really soon.